Hello everyone, back to you in today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week to 10 days. In today's video, it's going to take us into the second week of April. Going to be a lot of dry weather coming up again next week. I spoke about this in the second video yesterday. Going to be a lot of high pressure influences. We are seeing a few hints from the GFS model at the moment to potentially try and turn things a little bit colder through the second week of April and running up to the middle part of the month. Now, I wouldn't take that too seriously at this stage, but we need to be watching out for it, because if it was to come off, obviously we're into April and everything's springing into life in the gardens, in the fields. So if it was to come off, we was to get the winds into the north through the second week of April into the middle part of the month, obviously it would be quite impactful. So we need to be watching out for it, but I wouldn't necessarily be taking it all that seriously at the moment. But I'll talk you through the charts in a second. I'm going to start off with some pictures. I've had a few pictures sent through, so if you want to just start off with this one. This was taken on Monday, I think, from our friend Mark Kanish at in the Wirral, and Mark emailed this to me. Lovely picture of the sun there, kind of being obscured a bit by some high cloud. A very nice day on the Wirral on Monday. This was from Mark Coleman. This was a sunset in Chislehurst, and again, very nice looking picture, that one, sunset in Chislehurst. This one was from Andrew Attewell. This was posted on Twitter. This was tweeted to me. This was this morning, I think, in Bungay. This is St Mary's Church, Bungay. And again, you can see very dramatic looking sunrise. I think this was actually sunrise this morning in Bungay. And again, this is another view of St Mary's Church and graveyard this morning. So thanks to everybody for sending their pictures. Remember, you can email those pictures to gazweathervids@gmail.com. You can also post them in the comment box at GazWeatherVids. So to do that, you've got to sign up for a Disqus account, and then you can post your pictures to the comment box at GazWeatherVids. And you can tweet them to me as well. Our Twitter handle is twitter.com/Gavin Partridge. And we're always happy to feature the videos, the pictures in the videos. Do remember, if you're taking pictures of the sun, just be a little bit serious for a second. If you're taking pictures of the sun, do take care, take precautions of your eyes, because particularly if you're focusing in on the sun, it can actually do a lot of damage to the eyes. So those pictures were taken with care, and the people that took them took precautions with their eyes. But always keep in mind, if you want to take a picture of the sun, there are various ways that you have to go about it to protect your eyes from any damage that might occur from the sun. So always be aware of that. And of course, if you're taking pictures of thunderstorms, of light, you have to be careful with that as well. So we're always happy to feature pictures in the videos, but if you want to take those pictures, do take care and look after yourself. Right, let's get on with the video then. Really warm day today across the country. This is the latest observations, or these are the latest observations from the website xcweather.co.uk, and well, it's midday when I'm doing the video, and we're already up to 21 degrees 70 Fahrenheit in a couple of places widely across the southeast. We've got temperatures into the upper teens, so Cranfield's up to 17, Heathrow's up to 18, and Gatwick's up to 17, Gravesend is up to 18, and so on. There's probably going to be another couple of hours. Lakenheath Royal Air Force Base is up to 19 degrees. Cambridge up to 19 degrees as well. And those 21 degrees, they're flashing away down here. The Isle of Wight and down into all parts of France, where we're recording 20 degrees at the moment. So actually it doesn't look like we've yet quite managed to get to 21 degrees in the UK mainland, but there's another couple of hours of warmth to go, so I suspect we will see 21 degrees somewhere in the southeast in the next couple of hours. Certainly it's a very warm day indeed. Further north, it's a lot cooler, so let's go up towards Scotland. Tulloch Bridge, for example, at just 11 degrees, very lowly, 11 degrees there. Isle of Skye is up to just 12 degrees, and so on, Stornoway just 10 degrees. It's a much cooler, different world up across Scotland, and even coming down into northwestern parts of England, Walney Island there at just 12 degrees. So almost summer-like temperatures down in the southeast today. Do make most of it, because I think tomorrow the temperatures will be back closer to average. Right, this is the Arctic Oscillation Observed and Forecast chart. The black line here is telling us where we've been with the Arctic Oscillation, and then the red lines at the end tell us where we're forecast to go with the Arctic Oscillation. Remember, the Arctic Oscillation is just an index that's reflecting the state of the atmosphere in the Arctic over North Pole. It's not driving anything, it's not driving weather, it just tells you what the weather is doing. So the black line here tells us where we've been with the Arctic Oscillation. These red lines at the end where the GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic Oscillation to go. You see that we've been in a very prolonged period of positive AO conditions. Generally, this black line has been trending above neutral, and that's neutral just there, trending above neutral for the last 2-3 months or so. We're forecast to stay positive with the Arctic Oscillation through this part of the chart just here, but better to get through into the middle of April, which is this period just here. We are seeing these ensemble members, some of them anyway, going into negative territory. It looks like we've got a downwards, bit of a downward spiral there in terms of the Arctic Oscillation into negativity through the middle part of April. That's probably tying in with what I spoke about at the moment. We have got those hints of northern blocking just starting to appear in some of the ensemble output, particularly the GFS ensembles. There's a few colder members, and have a look at those ensemble members in a moment, for the middle part of April. I would suspect that's what the Arctic Oscillation Index is picking up on, those ensemble members that are going colder in terms of high pressure building to the north, then turning winds into the north. Now, this is all a long way off, and in the more reliable time frame, in the more immediate time frame, this period just here, actually the Arctic Oscillation going to be staying very positive. So I won't be taking that too seriously, but as I was explaining at the start of the video, have got to be watching out for the possibility, no more than that, possibility that things might start to turn colder around the middle part of April. Certainly for the next week to 10 days, there's no sign of any particularly cold weather. Actually, high pressure's coming back big time next week. So these are the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the top. The GFS, I'll talk about it in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure, low pressure, being moved around by a jet stream running above. Red plates, high pressure, blue to low pressure. You see what the ECMWF is doing for next week to 10 days. Big ridge of air centred right over top of the UK. And the GFS is very similar. It's almost identical. Really big ridge again centred over the UK. However, notice this trough, this blue area across Scandinavia and digging down into northeastern Europe. That's a deep trough of low pressure, and that's introducing much colder air to northern and northeastern parts of Europe. To tap into that cold air, we've got to take this ridge from here, move it up to there, and then if we do that, if we pull out that ridge and move it up to there, what's going to happen is this trough will back westwards, and that would turn winds into the north. Now, I'm not sure we really want to do that. As I say, we get into the middle of April, everything's springing into life, so northerly winds are not really what we want in the middle part of April. But it's a possibility in this kind of scenario that could happen. So that's what I'm going to be watching out for. The potential, no more than that at this stage. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles the next 2 weeks. In terms of the upper air temperatures, very significantly warmer than average at the moment. That's why having such a warm day today with temperatures up to 70 Fahrenheit in the southeast. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. Look how much above average we are at the moment. We do get a drop down in the temperature tomorrow and into the weekend, so it will be turning cooler, but still coming out above average, and it looks like we're going to be keeping it generally milder than average there as we're going into next week. Actually, we might turn it very warm again through the second half of next week. However, this period just here is producing a lot of scatter from around there onwards. We can see that we've got something like a 20 20-degree temperature differentials. There are still several members of the GFS ensembles that are quite warm through this period, but there are now several members that are looking significantly colder, and I think most of those are producing those colder conditions via northerly winds, with high pressure getting up close to Greenland, somewhere like that, turning wind into the north. So we've got a bit of a split between the GFS ensembles for the second week of April, this period just here, and it's a very long way off. It probably will turn out that this colder weather that some of these ensemble members are picking up on won't happen. It won't come off. But, of course, as I say, we've got to keep watching out just for the possibility that it might do. For the next week, however, temperature anomalies are above average, so from the 30th of March to the 7th of April, coming out milder than average. Most parts of Europe looking milder than average as well. Significantly colder than average, though, across central parts of Russia over there. Precipitation anomalies from the 30th of March to the 7th of April looking drier than average. So it continues, the mild, dry weather looks like it continues really into next week. This hour GFS is looking for Monday. They've got a ridge of high pressure extending through the country. There is a weather front coming into the north and west. That might bring some cloud and rain to Scotland and Northern Ireland on Monday. That drops southwards through into Tuesday as a significantly weakening feature, and then the high pressure is building back in from the Azores behind it. Then high pressure takes over, get through into the middle part of next week. This is Wednesday, 5th of April. Big anticyclone dominating at 1,035 millibars. It's going to be dry under that. Probably not all that warm because the air's coming around the top of that high pressure from sort of a northeasterly type direction. It's not an Arctic northerly, but probably enough to be producing slightly cooler temperatures than we've got this week, but still pleasant enough in the strengthening April sunshine. Could be cold nights as well under that ridge. It continues into Thursday. Again, high pressure is dominating then. And then we go through to the end of next week. This is Friday, 7th of April. This is Saturday, the 8th, where that high pressure is starting to drift north. We're starting to move north. Notice these northerly winds are coming down through Scandinavia. That's the trough that we saw on the height anomaly chart. So the jet stream is doing something a little bit like that. And, of course, this trough just here is producing those cold northerly winds for Scandinavia and northeastern parts of Europe. We go to day 10, which is Sunday, 9th of April. That situation continues. We're under the ridge of high pressure. Haven't took it far enough north to bring in those northerly winds for us. But you can see it's not all that far away. And if you have a look at the upper air temperatures, it might be a little bit more useful. You can see how close that cold air is. It's through the North Sea, really, and extending down into Central Europe and particularly going back up towards Scandinavia. So it's not very far away. It would only take an adjustment of a few hundred miles with this ridge to push it north and west, and we start to tap in to those northerly, northeasterly winds. So, again, just let's be cautious about it. Don't get too carried away with the idea that we might get a cold snap through the second week of April, but it is a possibility. ECWF looks like that for Monday. The ridge is through the country, a lot of dry weather, some cloud and rain in the north and the west. We get through into the middle part of next week, and high pressure is very much in control. Into the second half of next week, that high pressure is still dominating the weather, producing loads of dry conditions, and that really continues up to day 10, and actually the ECMWF is not producing that northerly for Scandinavia and northeastern Europe that we just saw with the GFS. So it's a very different pattern that we have with the ECMWF. We've got this ridge here centering through the UK and many parts of Central Europe, and to the north of it we've just got these westerly winds coming through. So we aren't close to a cold interlude at all there on the ECMWF up to day 10. So we do need to stay cautious about any potential cold snap that might occur in the second week of April and running up to the middle part of the month. But whilst the potential is there, we've got to be watching out for it because it's a very busy period in terms of what the farms are doing at the moment. So farmers will need to keep abreast of the situation over the next few days and see whether this cold snap comes to anything. Hopefully it won't. So that's how it's looking today. Come back tomorrow when it's JMA Friday. We'll have the month-end look ahead with Japanese and CFS V2 models. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.